Hello, this is Jody Colegrove with Quantum Techniques. We have developed a proven technique to quickly determine the root cause of your health issue using a form of energy medicine. I work with people all over the world, over the phone, helping them understand why they're having health issues and what they can do about it. So today I wanted to talk to you about glyphosate. Maybe you've heard of that, maybe you haven't. But glyphosate is the active ingredient in a product called Roundup, which you spray on plants and stuff like that to get the weeds to stop growing and not have an issue. But they're also spraying it on crops now, like wheat, soybeans, alfalfa, and other corn, and it's creating quite a health issue. And so this summer I had a chance to listen to a webinar in regards to what's going on, what we can do to kind of solve this issue. So there was a couple quotes that I thought were really important to help you understand why it's being such an issue. So I wanted to read those for you. So first of all, glyphosate creates gaps between the cells, turning the body into a sponge for toxins. Now, one of the things that we do at Quantum Techniques is we're always testing the toxins, and we're finding out, okay, what toxins are bothering you and clearing it. Well, if you're eating glyphosate, then that's what's happening, is it's opening up those areas between the cells whilst letting in more toxins. So not only are we finding the toxins, but we're clearing the glyphosate if that's been an issue, and we can test it, and closing those gaps. Another thing is that glyphosate robs the soil and our bodies of the ability to make essential medical component or compounds, and disrupts the cell-to-cell communication, which is at the very heart of virtually all disease. And so that's why it's really important that we try not to eat so much glyphosate and what it's doing to our bodies, and to be aware. So I kind of wanted to tell you a personal story. I have a restaurant that I like to go to every so often, and always kind of order the same thing, never had a problem, but I was in a different city. So I ordered that food, and within about an hour I started getting just really heavy brain fog and not being able to think very clearly. Also started kind of developing a headache in my vagus nerve, which is in the back of my neck. Later that evening, I had a little bit of diarrhea. I also had some bladder control issues. And so as I went back and tested, okay, what was it? I found that it was in a wheat tortilla. Normally the wheat tortilla, where I used to have it from, would test and say at a 1 out of 10. 10 being the best, and 1 being so close to 0, probably not the best thing to eat. But this particular wheat tortilla tested at a -5. So in other words, -5 of harm. So that's why I got the brain fog and the headache and things like that. And so what's so neat with Quantum Techniques is we can test to find out why certain grains will affect you and others won't. And I know a lot of people that sometimes go, well, I go to that restaurant, I never have any issues. But, I try not to eat wheat, but there are certain ones, if I do want to splurge, that aren't so bad. So it's really important for us to be able to have that knowledge to help us, but also understand what's happening in our body and why we're being affected by the glyphosate. What was very interesting to me is what they do with crops of corn or others is that right before harvest time, they spray the crops with glyphosate to kill it as quick as possible. Then they're able to harvest it, and because it kills it so quickly, they're able to actually replant a whole nother crop. So then instead of just getting 1 crop a year, they can get 2 crops a year. So I find that interesting that there is a reason why they're doing it, but now we're seeing the problem with it. And even this morning I heard just on the TV about how there's a certain bird that got to be extinct because they sprayed all the waterways with a mosquito repellent, and it killed the state bird almost. And so they've had to do a lot of mediation to get rid of that toxin, and then to work on getting the state bird back. Another story I just happened to think off the top of my head. I had my lovely grandma. She was a very good gardener, but her form of gardening was, oh, there's slugs in the garden, let's spray everything to kill the slugs. And oh no, then such and such is back, and so she had to kill that. And what we learned is that she kept killing off the stuff that would normally eat each other and take care of it. And so there's definitely a fine balance. And so just trying to find that fine balance is important. So kind of full circle, yes, we can test foods to find out, whether it's going to really affect you or not. The other thing that we can do is, I really don't want to spray my yard with Roundup. Well, what can you do? Well, I found out from my landscaper that if you make the grass grow extra thick and long and don't cut it very short, that the grass will naturally choke out the weeds. And so that's something that you can do. And also, it's kind of fun to garden and pick weeds. So those are things that you can do. It gets you out on nature. Don't wear shoes. You can do a lot of grounding on the earth as you're doing it and connecting with nature. So all those things are really important. So hope that's been beneficial for you today to kind of understand why the glyphosate is such an issue in the health community and what we're trying to do to kind of solve it. All right. So you can go to our website at quantumtechniques.com, and we have lots of information. We have manuals. We have MP3 downloads that you can all listen to and learn how to do quantum techniques for yourself. If you need a session, you can go on and get a session request, which is 1 hour of testing with quantum techniques, and that helps answer a lot of questions. Not every session has to be that long. I would say typical sessions are somewhere between maybe 15, 20 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes if it's a more of an in-depth issue that we're dealing with. So at Quantum Technique, this is kind of where your healing begins and your illness ends. So we want you to get the answers to why you're having health issues and what you can do about it. So thanks for listening, and blessings from Quantum Techniques.